Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk About It with Lou J. Today's episode, ladies and gentlemen, is something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. It is the firstborn, the child who had to grow up first. Before I bring on my guest, I want to read this first to you. Today, we're talking about the firstborn child who often becomes the example, the helper, the protector, and sometimes the second parent. Now, a lot of you are firstborns, and I know a couple of you firstborns are going to be wanting to watch this. But what happens when being first comes with pressure, expectations, and silent responsibility? Today, ladies and gentlemen, my guest today, I was on her podcast, That's Just Human, which my episode will come out September 29th. Stay tuned for that one. Great podcast. Great lady here. I probably gonna butcher her name, but like I always do. But we're gonna see how well I do today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Let's Talk About with Lou J. Elisha Light Angel. There?
Hey, you got it right.
Yes.
Thank you for having me on.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know I butcher a lot of first names. So I am, like I told her before off air, I butcher my own name sometimes. First of all, how was your day so far?
Well, I woke up and got coffee, and now I'm talking to you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, while I was on her podcast, we had a great conversation about my story, my journey, my life, especially about losing my daughter. It was very well. She's a great listener. You gotta go in there. All her podcasts will be in the descriptions below. And also, you're gonna love it. Also, people follow me on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. Hit that notification button, ladies and gentlemen. When this episode drops, you will know automatically. People follow me on audio, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio. With iHeartRadio, I love you guys. You guys give me a lot of downloads. Continue to download. Give the comments. I love the interaction. Which I told you I'm gonna call you that because before we get to the first question, I got a little stat here. You ready for it?
Let's go.
All right. It says researchers shows birth order does not strongly shape personality, but firstborns awfully show small advantages in education, IQ, and achievement. What do you think about that?
They show small advantages.
Yeah.
Um, I think there might be something to that because being the firstborn, your it's your parents' first time being a parent, and they don't know anything about what they're doing. I can speak from my own personal experience as a parent, not having any clue what I was doing. So, and I only had one, so I didn't get a second one to, do better.
Okay.
But they're you're the person that they make all of the mistakes with. You kind of have an unspoken pressure. I'm sure it's different in different households based on parents,
Yeah.
but it's kind of expected that you're going to make straight A's. It's expected that you're going to be the example. So even when you get younger siblings, you're responsible for being the mature one, the one that they're going to look up to, and
Wow.
therefore you have to behave better. Whether you do or not is another story, but that's the expectation. So yeah, I know I really wanted to go to school as a child. And as soon as I could talk, I was asking. So I did like 2 years of preschool. And I don't think most people get that. It was just this kid that wouldn't shut up about going to school.
Wow.
So yep, that's what I wanted to do. And even to this day, learning is just fun. I I absorb and like learning anything new. I guess I'm a polymath. I go down rabbit holes all the time.
I love that. I do the
But
same thing. I do.
yeah,
I love knowledge. I love learning. But before we get to the first question, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, us being parents and you guys being parents too, there is no book about being a parent. I just want to put that out there. Let's get to the first one. You ready for this one?
yeah.
We can have a good conversation today. Because, I'm old school. I like to write everything down. So when did you first realize being the oldest child was different from being the other children?
Mm. Well, going back to being somebody that's a nerd, my parents had psychology books on their shelves.
Oh,
And at 12, not a bunch, but a few of them, there was this one called the Birth Order Book. So I had never given much credence to birth order, but I was fascinated at this young age of 12 by a psychology book
wow.
talking about the birth orders and how depending on where you're born in the family, there's certain traits that follow each. And it was basically broken down by firstborn, middle child, and baby, because those are kind of where people can fall in line. And depending, even like larger families, even ones that have, I don't know, 9, 12 children, something like that, there's still somewhere that people fall in line. So even me as a firstborn, I'm a female.
Yeah.
And then I had a sister after me and then a brother. So that brother that came in, because I have two brothers that are younger, he gets more firstborn kind of undertakings because it's the firstborn male into the
Oh, I
family.
got you. Got you. Got you.
So if you're the firstborn of whatever sex, then you can kind of have that firstborn mentality that your parents accidentally ingrained into you.
Okay.
But reading that book really let me know. And one of the things I recognize too is that firstborn children are typically very organized. Um, Even if, for instance, a desk looks chaotic, you could ask somebody where something is and they'll know exactly where it is. So organization
Wow.
doesn't necessarily mean that it looks neat and pristine. It means that you know where every single thing is because you have an organizational method.
Wow. That is crazy. What girl? Man, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, go on her podcast. She breaks it down like this. You can imagine when she breaks down her podcast. That's amazing right there. I'm telling you. E, let's continue. You ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Did you did you feel your childhood ended sooner than it should have?
Mm. I do, but not because being a firstborn child, there was some trauma that broke my entire family on my 13th birthday.
Oh,
I'm not going to get into that, but
okay.
it forced me to grow up. Um, so I don't think I had the same responsibility that some other firstborn children might, where they're expected to maybe help change diapers or
Hmm.
do this and that. We did, I don't know what age exactly, and it might have been double digits, like 10 or 11 or something,
Yeah.
where we started getting bigger chores. And so mine was clean the bathroom. And
Mm.
my mom, I remember she took me into the bathroom, brought all the supplies. She showed me, this is how you scrub the bathtub. This is how you scrub the toilet. This is how you clean the counters. This is how you clean the floor.
Yeah.
Uh, she was very specific. We had spring cleaning every single week,
Wow.
and
Mm.
this she suffers from allergies, and so it was important to her that there wasn't a speck of dust in the
Mm.
house, even to the point where I'm, a young teen cleaning the bathrooms, and we all had chores. Even the youngest one, she made wall cleaner and would give them a washcloth, and their job was to clean the walls.
Oh, wow, that's deep.
Yeah, it was a very clean house, to the
I
point
see.
my friends, I had a friend's mom that was a house cleaner, and
Uh,
every time she would drop her off at my house, she was always astounded how clean our house was all the time. But this is how I grew up. Like, there was expectations that it stayed pristine and clean. Like, there was not allowed to be a mess.
I can imagine how your house look. I'll tell you that now.
Well, my house currently doesn't look like that. I try to have it neat, but I've got 4,000 pounds of salt in boxes sitting taking up rooms right now. You can see a
Okay,
box behind me.
I see it.
Yeah, those have salt lamps in them. I bought a storage unit of salt and I'm gonna bring it into my business physically and sell salt. But I don't have a storage unit, so my house is kind of at the moment a storage unit.
Okay.
And I'm a very busy person, so my cleaning falls lower on the list of priorities.
Mm.
as opposed to some of the other things that I'm doing. But it's still important to have a clean environment because it helps my brain
Hmm.
to focus. And then when I get creative, if things are clean around me, I feel like the creative juices and the energy and ideas just start flowing a lot more.
I love that right there, especially with the creative juices. Because you know what? When we get done this podcast, I'm going to put you on to someone I know that's a little bit similar to what you're talking about. She has a podcast in the UK. You two
Ooh,
will get along great. I tell you that now. E, let's get to the next one. Were you allowed to make mistakes?
no.
Ooh,
No, I'm a recovering perfectionist to this day.
ooh,
And I think perfectionism is something that silently gets ingrained to people that are firstborn.
really?
So I had a very authoritarian father,
Okay.
and it was a very religious household. There were very high expectations on how we were to behave, how we were to be, and not step out of line.
Mm,
So I definitely, for years, it was almost paralyzing to make a mistake.
wow.
And I'm in my 40s now. So it's been a work in progress to allow myself to be okay with
Yeah.
making a mistake, even into adulthood, which feels kind of ridiculous
Yeah.
logically.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's this neurological pathways that are ingrained internally. And so trying to break out of the way that I've been and so now it's like, for instance, back to the house being clean. If
Hmm.
my house is a little bit messier, it's okay. I had about 4 years of living with two people with ADD that, and I don't know if you've ever dealt with people with ADD, but they don't remember sometimes to pick up after themselves, or they forget
Okay.
that they put something somewhere.
Okay.
It's just part of their neurology.
Yeah.
I love ADHD people. They're very interesting. I'm surrounded by them.
Okay.
But living with them, I found I was doing a lot more work to constantly try and keep things clean. I was driving myself nuts, was what I was doing.
Really?
Yeah. And you can get a little bit neurotic if you care way too much about everything being perfect.
Yeah.
And so I've made my own conscious decision that I don't like being neurotic
Okay.
and it's stressful. So slowly being an allowance to let myself drop these expectations that something
Hmm.
has to be perfect or everything has to be in a certain place all the time.
Yeah.
It's more practical that people actually just live and don't try and be perfect all the time. And so, yeah, that's been a huge thing that I still work through to this day.
Wow. That is awesome right there. And you're still working through that. I got something for you. Now, did your parents ever tell you this phrase? Ready? You're the oldest, and if somehow often did that sentence become a burden? So when they say you're the oldest, did it become a burden to you at times?
I don't know if I got told that enough. I feel I was definitely told that at times, maybe where I wanted something that a younger child was, or something. I don't feel that that was every burden phrase in
Hmm.
my household.
Okay.
Like I said, I grew up a little different. It was a little culty. It was a very religious household.
Got you. Got you.
There, there's layers of expectations, and not just what comes along with being a firstborn.
Yeah.
When you have a really thick religious upbringing.
Well, you will love this one. Did you ever feel responsible for protecting your siblings? Because I hear this a lot from firstborns.
No,
Oh, well, you're different. Do tell.
I yeah, I'm telling you, I'm not like your average cookie.
Love
Uh,
it. I love it. Keep on. Keep on. Bring it.
so there's 3 years. My parents very intentionally put 3 years between each of us siblings
Okay.
when they had us.
Okay.
So my sister, who's 3 years behind me, I was closest to.
Hmm.
And I know when she was really, really young, up till the age of 3, she didn't talk. So I would talk for her. I think at a young age there might have possibly been more connection, more looking out, but we ended up moving around. We moved to Texas from Oregon when I was 8,
Okay.
and I never saw my siblings at school. So there wasn't ever, not that we didn't go to the same school, we just didn't see each other being
Yeah.
3 grades apart.
Yeah.
And even when I was a senior in high school and she was a freshman, never passed her in the hallways.
Wow.
So it was actually more fighting amongst us than it was trying to protect. And I think that comes with some of the sibling sibling rivalry, but
Yeah.
as much as the parents and the grandparents try to make things fair, they
Mm.
aren't. And I think in my house, they were trying to make things too fair, which took away some of the individuality that me and my sister really wanted to have for ourselves.
I love that. That is crazy. Again, everybody follow me on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, comment, share. Definitely give a comment on this one. You'll love this. And exactly give a like. More likes I have puts me into a different algorithm. Let's continue. Let's go, E. Next question for you, which I love this one too. Were you ever, were you ever, were you ever, sorry, my bad. Were you ever protecting everybody but not protecting yourselves? Put it like this, like, were you always protecting everybody else, but nobody protected you?
Mhm.
Mm.
I don't know if I was protecting anyone.
Hmm.
If I feel like we played. So, there's a little rivalry, a little bit of play
Hmm.
when for me, when you're in a religious upbringing, you have school and you have church. Like those are and at home. Like this is
Right
it.
here.
And we spent a lot of time at church. We had like two Sunday morning Sunday schools or two. I don't know. We were at church from like
Dude.
8 a.m. until probably 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And mostly
Whoa.
because my parents were involved and they talked to people. Sometimes we'd go out to eat. Then there was Sunday night church. Then
What?
there's Wednesday night church. And because my parents both played music, we were always up at the church like Friday and Saturday.
Wow.
We were up at church a lot.
Wow.
Um, so yeah, if some people out there, I guarantee if they grew up in some of the churches that have all these services, they were also required. You could never miss church ever.
So
It
wait,
was
wait a minute,
not,
E. I'm sorry to cut you off. Do you still practice that now?
no, no, not at all.
I got you. Got you. I'm sorry. Go
But what was your question now? I lost my train of thought.
ahead. That you said right, you wasn't really protecting anybody. Did
Yeah.
anybody ever protect you with anything?
So in middle school, we lived in a bad neighborhood in the
Okay.
ghetto,
There you go.
and there was gangs in middle school. That's about when you start learning about all the gangs. I
There
wasn't
you
in a
go.
gang, but I knew people in all of the opposing gangs, and
Okay.
I was like the nice little white girl.
Okay.
So what happened was my friends, and these were Hispanic gangs that were in the neighborhood I was in,
Gotcha.
and they fought a lot. I mean, walk by and see somebody getting jumped. It was normal. I've seen in middle school, I saw lots of people get jumped. I was
Wow.
in rooms watching people get beat with brooms. I didn't want that to happen to me. You
Okay.
know,
I don't
so
think so.
I had friends that would protect me because they liked me and thought I was nice. So I've been very fortunate in, I guess, just making connections of
Mm.
people that have liked me. So there's never anyone older. Like I never had any older cousin or anything like that to look up to or to take care of me.
Hmm.
And on that level, not necessarily protection, but I would say that there comes a feeling of just being the responsible one.
Oh, now wait, hold on one second. So you're at church at this time. You're going 3 times on Sunday, 1 time on Wednesday, but you see all this in school at this time. What was that like for you, experiencing that type of difference? That's a big difference right there. If you can give me a little short thing right there, like what was that experience like that for you to take that in, come from two different backgrounds?
Oh, I never gave it much thought. It was just my reality. Um, it was school's different than church. You have a certain way you have to act, behave, dress when you go to church, things you can say and not say. So I would say school became maybe a little bit more loose. You could get away with things that you can't get away with at home. You can talk to your friends with some of those
Oh,
cuss words you're not allowed to say.
oh.
And
So you
uh,
was different. So you was different in school.
I, I mean, I was, yeah, there, we, look, we can get on to like religious programming. That's a
No, I ain't. No,
whole
I'm not doing
topic of
that. No, I'm
itself.
not doing that.
But yeah, you you are expected one way at church, and then your parents aren't there at school. You just have your teachers, and your teachers, unless you do something crazy in class, they're
Yeah.
not going to be telling your parents. So when you're around your friends, and it was just kind of normal. I lived back in the day. I don't know if they did this at the school you went to, but you'd have to cover your stomach while you walked the hallways. And if you didn't, somebody might punch you in the stomach
Mm.
randomly. And this
Wow.
was the game that people played.
Yeah,
It was a
well,
game.
I'm
And
not
so it
gonna
was
lie. Yeah,
normal.
I was one of them who did that, but that's another subject. But anyway,
But
but
so
go
you
ahead.
know the game.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Go ahead.
But yeah, fights at recess, it's you're a kid, so it becomes this excitement of, oh, they're fighting. I'm gonna go watch this fight, and you're, just rah 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 as
Okay.
12, 13, 14 years old. What do you know at
This is
that
awesome.
age? You know nothing.
This is awesome. Let's move on to the next one here. This is going to be a good one for you. Do you believe in some cases parents are harder on the first child because they're learning as they go? Now, you said some of that earlier, but a lot of people I hear from, they say, and this is just their opinion, that they're harder on the first child because they're still learning. Do you believe with that statement?
Yes, yes, I do. I think I got punished more, or I feel like I was in trouble for any little thing. That might even add to the don't make mistakes
Mm.
question you asked
Mhm.
earlier, because
You was
you're going to
fighting in
get in
school
trouble
too,
for
so
whatever
you know
it
what I mean.
is.
Don't forget you was fighting in school too, so you know what I mean.
Well, I wasn't fighting, I was
I'm
watching the
joking.
fights.
I got you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Um, so I lost my train of thought again. I'm sorry.
Learn as they go. The parents harder on you.
Yes. Oh, that's where I was going with this. I know for me, I had more rules
Mm,
that I had to follow than any of my siblings had to
that.
follow. So it's like the more siblings came along, the more lax the rules got.
Ooh.
So even comparing when I talk to my siblings now as adults, they didn't know that I wasn't allowed this or that or whatever. They were allowed. I
Mm,
wasn't allowed.
mm.
And it was this resentment as a child, like, why do my siblings get to watch these shows and I wasn't allowed to? Why do my siblings get to go do this activity I wasn't allowed to?
I
Why
love it.
do they get to do, like, literally all these things I wasn't allowed, wasn't on them? And then here's in my house too, you had to play music, or at least I did. As the firstborn, I
Mm.
was born with long fingers, and therefore my
Piano.
life was, I was born to be a pianist. And so they made me play piano at 5 years old. I didn't
Mhm.
want to, but I had to. And if I wasn't playing piano, I had to pick a different instrument. There's like not an option.
Wow.
I was the only child out of the four that was forced to play an instrument. The other ones never had. They weren't forced into it, and it's funny because now I don't play an instrument because I was forced to, and all my siblings that were not forced to all play instruments.
That's crazy as hell. I love it. I love it. E, let's move on here. Was there any was there any emotional scars coming from being the firstborn? Now, you don't have to get deep into it or whatever, because I know that's private for you. But do you have any emotional scars from being the firstborn? You can say yes or no.
I don't know. I feel that's one I'd have to ruminate on. That's a really deep question, honestly. Even though you're like, don't give a deep answer,
No,
it's
it's all right.
it's one I'd have to ruminate. I can just think of maybe having some resentment in lieu of like the question that we just responded to
Yeah.
of the siblings get more privileges
Hmm.
than the firstborn, or they're
Hmm.
allowed to do more things. I think build up this little resentment against them, not a dislike, but you want to do things and then you're not
Okay.
allowed to. So it feels unfair.
Okay. All right. This is going to be a little spin-off question since you was the firstborn. Uh, do you naturally take charge in friendships or relationships?
Yes.
Mm.
I am working not to, at this point in life, I really want things to be much more collaborative
Okay.
and equal, and that's been a huge value to me, so it's something that I do put a lot more focus on. But I
Mhm.
would definitely say my younger self, especially in my 20s, when um your brain's still developing and I was pig-headed, I was carrying all this stuff from childhood. I still had a lot of angst and anger to work through from other things in childhood. And so in all my relationships, I would say that I was wearing the pants in the relationship
Mm.
and not the guy. So I would take care of all the bills. I would take care of all the responsibilities. It was me that like made sure everything was happening. And even to this day, I will be on it. Like when there is something to be responsible, people are always impressed that I do things and I'm just the best I can say, I'm on it. And
Okay.
before you've even thought about it, I'm already there.
Well, let me ask you a side question now. And this is relationships and friendships. Do you ever feel you just want to let go and let the steering wheel go to let either the friend or relationship take over or take that responsibility out of your hands?
I don't feel as responsible in friendships. I feel friendships have been a little bit more equal playing ground. To me,
Okay.
friendships, we get to talk back and forth, we get to share about the things. So the friendships have been, as a kid, it's like, oh, my parents are fighting and this is happening,
Yeah.
or that it's the person that you get to confide in
Yeah.
about all of the other things and they get to confide in you. So
Mhm.
that's a lot more of what my friendships have been, to where relationships, I think we're trying to emulate our parents when
Got
we
it.
get in unconsciously into relationships or what it is that we've seen.
Hmm.
And my mom wasn't the pants wearer the way that I was, but I think I took that on somehow, that I needed to do that, or it was just my personality.
Okay. All right. Do you want to let go of the steering wheel?
Sometimes. And I have practiced, I'm a pretty free spirit. And
Okay.
I feel that a lot of my adulthood has been shedding the layers
Hmm.
of perfectionism, shedding the layers of expectations
Okay.
and the rigidness that I was taught to live by, and just loosening up to
Mhm.
degrees that most people don't. And so, even people that meet me in real life, kind of like you will sense that I'm a very free spirit.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
it's been a shedding of that, but I think as a younger child and
Mhm.
growing up in that environment, it really does give you a lot more rigidity that you need
Okay.
to live by in life, or you're expected to have manners. And
Mhm.
I didn't always agree with manners. Like, I have a crazy burp. I can't do it right now, but it sounds like a growl coming at
Oh, I
you,
love that.
and
Uh,
it's long. It is very noticeable, and everybody turns their head, including babies. I've had dogs come up to me. I'm telling you, it's a very unique, right?
I bet.
But it feels good when you need to burp and you have stuff in your stomach that needs to get out, right? It's a natural human function, but it's not polite. It's not manners. And it's
Mm,
definitely not ladylike to, but I was taught this is the way that you're supposed to behave. This is how you
mhm.
behave around family. This is how you behave around people. This is how you behave in society. And now I reject that. I'm like, no, if I'm gonna burp, I'm gonna do it, and it's gonna be crazy,
I love it.
and
I love it. I
and
do.
it's against. I'm like going against the grain of everything that I was taught I have to be.
I love it. I do. E, I'm telling you, I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you right now, this is why she's awesome. She's amazing. I love her. E, have you ever struggled with vulnerability because you've always spent your life being the strong one? Now, I want you to take that in because vulnerability is a big thing nowadays, and especially by the stuff that you said earlier. Have you ever
Actually,
struggled with vulnerability?
yes, very much so. I prided myself on being mysterious for years. I was so mysterious. I even had a partner after being living and dating me for a year, still said I was a mystery to him
Wow.
because I didn't open up enough. Like, this is how closed off I was. So
Okay.
I've really spent probably the past, I'd say, 8 to 10 years working on being more vulnerable. And
Mhm.
part of the reason that I have a podcast and I'm doing all this now is helping me to step in to being more vulnerable. But I feel like I've learned a lot and I've grown a lot by listening to other people
Yeah.
who have been vulnerable. Never once have I listened to somebody else's story and their vulnerability and thought, oh, man, you shouldn't be saying any of that. It's more of a, I'm really appreciative that you stated the unsaid out loud because it gives me permission to be where I am. And so if I share pieces of my life, pieces of my story, pieces of the way that I've learned, things that I've kept inside, or some of the stuff that is ugly in life
Mm.
that we don't want to talk about,
Yeah.
it gives other people permission to settle into who they are, to be where they are, and to move through whatever it is in life. And that, yeah, that's actually a really big topic for me right now that I'm continually trying to step in to being more vulnerable because I wasn't. And
I
it's
love it.
scary to,
Oh yeah.
there could be a lot of backlash. People on the internet get really mean. And I fortunately haven't had any of that. But if I get big enough out there, somebody's going to have a nasty comment. And at this point, I'm just like, bring on the haters because if they're hating, I'm doing something good.
E, let me tell you something. Everybody has an opinion, just like everybody has an asshole. Who cares? You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know what I mean? So,
I'm going to remember
last
that one.
exactly. Last question for you before I get to something else. Have you ever felt the pressure to achieve more than everyone else? Example, career, life, everything.
So I don't know if this is a firstborn thing, if it's my personality thing, but
Mhm.
yes, I am a high achiever and I constantly feel the need to achieve. In school, it's, going out for different things that you can get awards for, doing different competitions. I'm definitely competitive, but now I like competition because it helps me level up myself
Mm.
because if you're going to compete, you have to do better for you. I compete with myself too. So
Yes.
it's not just other people,
Mhm.
but it's always feeling um, like in school, it's you have to make straight A's, you have to get good grades. If you're going out for something, it's trying to be the best at that or do the best or feel like you're constantly having to work on something.
Mhm.
And what other people see is, oh, wow, it's really incredible that you do so much. And I'm like, yeah, because I don't turn off and I just keep
I love it.
going.
I love it. I love it. I do. You've been so much fun. I tell you right now. But I want to tell the audience something here. This is what I found out. Tell me if you agree with this. Firstborn children are more likely for these hold leadership positions, become managers and executives, attend college, take on family responsibilities, and feel pressure to succeed, like you just said. That's something they say firstborns are likely to do. Now, before we wrap things up, I'm going to do my rapid fire. I'm going to do my closing argument, my closing statement. I want you to tell a final thing on yours. But we gonna have some fun here with rapid fire. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Now, there's no long answers. This is the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Okay, it's either or the first thing that comes to your mind. You ready? Because
Okay.
I know you. I know you like to have fun. You're a free spirit, so you know what I mean. I know you ready. All right. Rule follower or rule breaker?
In the middle.
Come on.
If I don't follow them, but I don't go around breaking them on
Mm,
unless I don't think that they make any sense. If they don't make sense, they don't apply.
I, I love this woman. All right. Fair treatment or unfair treatment?
Fair treatment.
Okay. Did you feel pressure to succeed?
Yes.
Okay. Leader or follower?
Leader.
I see that. Independent or dependent?
Independent.
Oh yeah, we already know after this conversation. Hard on yourself, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Do you put others first?
Yes.
Being respected or appreciated?
Appreciated.
Okay. One word that describes your firstborn experience. Man, you didn't think you had to think this hard, did you?
Like one word.
hmm
Um,
Yeah, I like that, don't you?
that's
hmm
hard. That was a hard question.
I know. That's why I put it up there.
Um,
It's an awesome question too. I love this question. I do. One
one.
word. Mm.
I guess pressure.
Okay. All right. The last one, most misunderstanding. No, what's the most misunderstood thing about being firstborn, in your
People
opinion?
probably think you have it all together and you're just pretending like the rest of them.
Okay. All right. Now, I'll give my closing art. I'll give my closing first. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna read this off to you because I like to read stuff. I don't have like the prompters, all this fancy stuff like other big podcasters do. So I'm just a real amateur guy. Being first isn't just a being first isn't just a birth order. Sometimes it's a burden, sometimes it's a sacrifice, and sometimes it's a wound nobody sees.
Mm.
The firstborn often becomes the foundation of family, but who checks for the cracks in the foundation? Today, maybe it's time for you to check on that foundation. So, E, one of my new favorite guests of all time, give
Oh,
me,
you're so
give
sweet.
me, give me your last opinion, your closer about being a firstborn. And also plug your podcast too. Like what's your message to this audience right here about being the firstborn, and especially other firstborns out there? Because I know your situation is different, but give a message to the people.
Well, when you're firstborn, you're just going with what you're told and you got to get through it. But when you get to adulthood, I highly recommend doing as much exploration in life to figure out what is really you and what was given to you to that you were told to be, because there's going to be a difference and it's going to take unraveling throughout your entire adult lifetime. And I have a podcast called That's Just Human, and we just talk about the human experience. And I think a lot of that goes in, my human experience, part of it is being a firstborn because that's just how I happen to roll out into the world and what happened. So everybody gets a different experience. And by us listening to each other's experiences, it can give us different lens of perception on life. It can give us nuggets of wisdom, and it can give us permission to just be where we are, regardless of whatever we're facing on our journey, because we all have different obstacles that we go through. And none of them are like, they might seem bad, they might seem terrible, they might have you in the trenches and not even knowing if you want to continue on with this life anymore, because sometimes life really sucks and you just need somebody maybe to be your hype person next to you. And I think podcasts can be a hype person without you knowing the person. It's just that they have something that hits and helps you to overcome or to get to the next step in your own process. You can find that on YouTube and any of your listening platforms. That's Just Human.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard her. And all her information will be in the descriptions below. And also, she don't know this yet, but I have something just popped in my brain. I gotta bring her back to have a discussion about something. I'm not gonna say it right now. I'll tell her off air, but I definitely gotta bring her back because I think she's the perfect person to have this conversation with. And I'll give you a hint. It's about men and women. So it's gonna be on her side and it's gonna be on my side. I think that's gonna be a good conversation because she's a free thinker, and I usually say what the fuck I want to say. But anyway, that's besides the point. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. E, thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. She will be back again. People on YouTube, please like, subscribe, comment, share. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that notification button. People on audio, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Make sure you download. We will see you next time on Let's Talk About Lou J. Everybody have a good day, good week, good month. We'll see you next week. Peace.